Teaching your dog to sit is a great way to start building your working relationship with your pet. It gets your dog checking in with all 4 paws on the ground. Today I'm going to be using the lure method, which is basically taking a treat and moving it super slowly so that Jagger kind of stays attached and is following it. This is going to help to get him into our desired positions. I'm also going to be using a marker word, which is basically a short word I'm going to use the moment that he does something correct. Today I'm going to be using yes. It keeps training a lot cleaner and easier for your pup to understand. So to get your dog into the sit position, you're going to want to start with them standing. So you can always drop a treat a little further away from you. Then you want to get a different treat, and we're going to slowly pull it up and back until the tush hits the ground. Yes. And you're going to mark and release the treat in your hand. So again, we're luring our puppy. We're going to pull up and back. Yes. The key is to mark the moment that the tush hits the ground so that your dog understands exactly what they did correctly. Yes. 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 Once your pup has mastered the sit with a lure, I want to move on to something I call the tricky treat hand, which is basically just no treat in your pinched fingers, the same exact gesture. I'm going to see if he'll follow it, just like a lure. Yes. And we're going to mark and reward with the other hand. Yes. Fantastic, dude. Yes. From here, we're going to move on to our gesture, which is going to look similar to this, just because I like to keep things easy for my pup to understand. My gesture looks like a little scooping up motion. Yes. Yes. And just keeping consistent with that marker word is going to make it much easier for your pup to understand the moment that they did something correct. In this case, tush hits ground. That was good. Yes. Once your dog is set on a gesture, then we can start to play with adding our verbal cue. The verbal cue is going to go before the gesture. So the whole thing is going to look something like this. Sit. Yes. Fantastic. When you're adding your verbal cue, you're basically doing it before the gesture. This is kind of telling your dog, sit means this, which we already know. Sit. Yes. Fantastic. Yeah. Good job, Jaggy. So your final step is to see if your dog can do it for a verbal cue only. Some dogs aren't verbal learners, so that's totally fine if you find that your dog needs a little bit of help with a gesture. You want to stay with where they're showing consistent success. Ready? Let's give it a try. Sit. Yes. Good job, Jagger. Good job. Woohoo. And when working with your dog, you always want to stop while you're ahead. So if you find that your dog is losing focus or seems frustrated, it's okay to take a break.